Hello, everybody. What's up? OCD Mikey, Hi-Fi Gay. Here for another episode of the Mikey Show, and I want to go over a discussion now. This is going to be a video that I made a couple days ago, and it is a discussion about the possibility. Okay, I'm not in any way saying that I'm right. I'm not trying to say anybody else is wrong. I'm not trying to say my way of listening is the proper way or the right way and anybody is wrong. What I'm doing is I want to bring up a discussion. Most of the time people are too afraid to have mind-expanding discussions. Free thinking is kind of shunned, if you haven't noticed, probably for a long time. But I like to think outside the box, and I like to have discussions and conversations about what might be possible. And so the discussion that's going to follow this is basically the idea that there could potentially be two different complete goals in the hi-fi industry, and basically from manufacturers. Okay, what I'm going to pose as a question, okay, for everybody. Is it possible that there are two different complete goals with manufacturers in this industry? The first goal would be to sell. It would be a corporate goal, okay, or a business-minded goal, which would be to sell as much product as possible, okay? Many businesses, if you're a business, especially if you're a corporate business, you need to show gains every year or the CEO gets fired, okay? That's all there is to it. You must show gains all the time, okay, in succession. That is part of a corporate mentality. That's what they are. It's numbers oriented. It's a business model. Okay, so if we're going to take that as the people that run the company, that own the manufacturer, are business-minded people, and their goal is to hit the highest numbers, the sales numbers they can. They want to increase on it every year. Is there a formula for that? And is there a sound for that? Is there a particular sound that sells better than another type of sound that maybe doesn't sell as good, okay? And what is the difference? And is there another type of sonic that is from music passionates, where the owners of the company are not so interested in the bottom line numbers as they are in creating a triumph of a piece that connects the user to the music, because they hold that in the highest regard. They hold our connection to the divine creation of music as holy territory. And to achieve that is divinity. And so to create something that helps people connect to music on a divine level would be their main aim. And then they would just say, well, profit comes from that. Let me make my directive from the heart to and make it a pure directive first, and then the money part comes as a byproduct of that. Versus somebody, a manufacturer, whose goal is let's hit the numbers, and if people connect to the music, that's just a bonus. But really, we need to hit our numbers, and we need to increase them every year. So is there an algorithm, if you will, or a certain type of sound that sells better and closes more deals for people that are searching for hi-fi? And how do we close more deals? And is that particular type of sound corroborated or promoted by the media to help promote the whole thing? Because the more of those products that sell from the sales numbers people is going to keep the advertisements going and keep them in business as well. Is there a closed circuit loop in pushing product on one end, and then there's maybe the outsiders, if you will, that aren't part of the audio mafia, as Mark Levinson once called it, that are more concerned with connecting people with the music? They're smaller companies. They don't profit as much, but there's, and their product line is different. It looks different. It sounds different because it has a different goal in mind. That's what this discussion is about. The possibility, just for us to think outside of the box for a second, think outside of what all the pablum that we've been fed our whole time from the magazines, the media. Maybe the media is in cahoots with the corporations that want to push hi-fi. Possibly. I'm not saying it's an absolute or even, I'm saying let's discuss the possibility that there may be a closed loop circuit to push product. That's where the money's at, right? And how we always say, when you want to get to the bottom of it, look at where the money's at. Okay? And what do they deliver? Are you getting closed because on a deal because you're caught in the honey trap of what makes people convert from a prospect to a buyer? Because that's how corporations work. You got to make conversions. It's called conversions, sales conversions. You convert a prospect to a buyer. That's the key number one thing. Convert them. Convert them as fast as you can. Convert them as easily as you can. Okay? So there may be ground set, like a stepping stone, all the way down the funnel, the closing funnel, to where you can close them really easy. And you start by this, and then you close them. Bam, before they know it, they're shoveling out their dough, and they're getting something that is a packaged closing tool sound. This is just a discussion. I'm trying to get people to think outside the box because this is how I think. And I know it's not for everybody, whatever, but this is just, let's really do some thinking here and pose some scenarios and just have a discussion. So thanks for joining. Coming right up is the video that I made a couple days ago, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we ask ourselves at this point, is it possible that marketing specialists, and I'm not talking about hi-fi passionates that are passionate about music, I'm talking about A-level gold star businessmen, okay, marketing moguls, companies that are polished at knowing how to market stuff and pump it into the market. Is it possible that business moguls understand the psychology of a buyer? They look at who comes in off the street to the typical dealer and what is their knowledge of hi-fi. And they say to themselves, how can we best close a deal in the quickest fashion possible? Trust me, these stores are expensive rent. There's nothing cheap about having a hi-fi store in these great parts of town, okay? So people walk in and they come in. What's the idea? Well, we got to blow someone away as fast as possible. Like you've heard me say several times, 0 to 150 miles an hour in 1.5 seconds. Okay, so you got to do that with a person that's walking in that has an impulse. If they're walking into a hi-fi store, that's not a browse store. That's not something, it's a destination place. It's not something where you're just window shopping and, oh, let's go in here and take a look. No, it's not. You go there for a reason. You go there because you're interested in hi-fi. So here comes presumably people that are looking for a luxury product, okay? So how are you gonna cause an impulse buy? Well, you're gonna make your thing totally look the part. You're gonna make it as beautiful and expensive and techie and crazy looking as you possibly can, i.e. Wilson. If you look at Wilson, if you don't know crap about hi-fi, you don't need to know anything. If you look at it, it looks expensive. If you look at the back and all the twist knobs and all the stuff, which we can argue, is it necessary? Maybe not so much. It certainly looks the part. And if you look at Wilson, it looks like you see where the money goes, okay? So you don't have to do much convincing to someone that doesn't know any better, right? They're going to look at a Wilson and go, wow, it looks expensive. Look at all the dials. It looks like the other ones don't have this. They don't ask themselves, does it actually need this? They just think, wow, so these guys went the extra mile. They actually have adjustments to dial it in for one freaking person in one freaking chair, which is kind of silly because you can't enjoy it with other people. I mean, you can, but nobody's getting the 100% except for me in my chair. And if I put my wife here and she's any bit different height, she's not in the perfect dialed sweet spot. You know, we talked about that. So you think to yourself, how do you convert a prospect into a customer? And how do you convert that sale? Well, you make something look the part, and you make something ultra shiny, embellished, and extra pretty, okay? Because the ears that are coming in are most likely not seasoned, 20, 30-year audiophile ears. Some may be, but most of the time, a guy and his wife are going to walk in, let's get some cool stuff for the house, honey. Let's go look at these. Let me take you along and let's go listen to some music and see the speakers and whatever. They're going to look for something that looks beautiful and something that blows them away immediately, okay? So that is, you could create a demonstration system that is optimized for that. Something that looks money and something that sounds money and something that convinces somebody right away that this is the good shit, okay? Backing that up, you have the magazines that would corroborate that whole story, that this is the sound that everybody's after, okay? So what you have there is you have a closed circuit loop, if you will, between the dealers, the magazines and the media that pimp those certain brands, the brands that are polished, that look money, that maybe don't sound money, because look, their goal is to market and to make it disappear fast. So you design it a certain way. You design it to be extra embellished, extra pretty, okay, so that it converts people right away. It's like, again, like I used the woman. You see a gorgeous drop-dead woman all primped, and you're going to be like, wow, immediately you decide, yes, your mind's like, yes, at least my mind is. So with this hi-fi, that's the goal. Make somebody say yes, So we're going to do it with look. We're going to make it look money. We're going to make it super polished and embellished so it sounds super clean and super dynamic, so it gives an extra measure of musical. It's false dynamic. It's false color and richness. It's false, and I'm using just terms that people can grasp. Because you're trying to, it's like putting a bait out there, putting a honey trap out there. You need to convert somebody, man. So you're going to make it look money. You're going to make it sound overly shiny and embellished so that it's like cranking up vivid on the TV, right? When you do the demos inside Best Buy, wherever people are going to look at displays, you crank up all the color saturation, all that shit. So people, it's eye candy, right? Well, you do the same in the audio store with ear candy, okay? Now it's ear candy. Bam, yes, let's do it. I can afford it, let's do it. And it causes an impulse buy, okay? So is it possible that that is a formula? Is it possible that the magazines combined with the dealers are teaching you that a polished, embellished sound is actually good sound when perhaps it's not good sound? Now, the fact remains, it doesn't matter. If you love it, who gives a shit if it's horrible sound? If you love it, that's all that matters, okay? But what are you there for? Do you want to have a system that you put in your house and you demo it for other people and blow their mind and it looks like money and it sounds like money and then you do your demo and woohoo, we do this for 15 or 20 minutes and then we go have dinner and we do something else? Or do you want it as a place where you relax and you connect to the music and it is your decompression chamber, or do you want to be tweaked and having your attention span, snapped and, oh, listen to that, oh, listen to that, blah, 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 real in your mind thing, okay? Or do you want it in your heart where you sit and you listen and you feel, God, this feels good, man. I could sit here for hours. I could just like I want to sleep in here, I want to spend all the time I can in here. Or is it for demonstration purposes, okay? Because one rig is better for demos. The other rig takes a seasoned person, a music lover. You have to really understand music to get the musical system. It will connect you to the music, and that's what you're after. Other ones, it's just a toy. It's wow, it blows people away. Are you going to take it on a long-ass road trip? No. Is it going to be a daily driver? No. Is it fun? Yeah. Does it scare the shit out of people and you do great demos in it? Yeah. And that's how I look at the two different systems. One I call hi-fi sounding, or a dealer typical wow people with the cranked up, over embellished, hyper detail and hyper false dynamics. Or do you make it sound like it really does, where you connect to the music and it's not really a sound brain thing, it's a feeling connection thing, emotional thing. They're two different purposes for the rigs, and they're two different results, and they're two different ways of listening. So you need to decide, what are you after? What do you want from your system? Do you want it to blow people away and just do demos for your company and then that's it? Or do you really want to connect to music and use it for musical exploration, musical enjoyment, decompression, relaxing, where it's like on a real spiritual level for you? Because again, they're two totally different things. One's short and fast, the other one's long and slow, and one is banging, one's making love, okay? So it depends on what you're after, okay? So I don't know how else to put it in English. It may my methods, my words may be crude. I apologize for that. It's just how I'm trying to bring it down to a layman's terms so that people can sort of understand the difference between the two different types of systems. And there's gear that's optimized for each type of system. Wilson, Magico, Boulder, those type of DCS, MSB, those brands are all for the fast wham bam, thank you ma'am banging, okay? The other brands, Viola Labs, Tad, Eggleston Works, Playback Designs, Aesthetics, I could go on. Those are for the long, slow lovemaking, the romantic, the let's sit and let me enjoy the music and let me really feel what that artist, let me feel it. I don't care about hearing it. I want to feel it. I want to connect. I want to forget I'm listening to a rig. The other ones, you're constantly reminded, I'm listening to a super kick-ass rig. And that's your brain's, wow, this is super kick-ass. Wow, I'm listening to a super kick-ass rig. These are the thoughts that your brain's having. Wow, it's imaging great. Wow, listen to that cymbal. Whoa, listen to that over there. Wow, that was so clear. Wow, this is standing out in space. Whoa, listen to how everything's separated out. Wow, you're tripping on the sonic presentation, man. That is not a good place for me to be. That's not what I want for my rig. I don't want to be tripping on the sonic presentation. I want to be connecting to the music where I forget about the sonic presentation. So you have to tame it down and make it not so in your face to do that. You have to make it more romantic. You have to do it, and there are certain brands that do that, and those are the brands that are not the marketed brands because they're not after money. They're after bringing the connection to the music, and their dreams are different. Their dreams are for creation of a product. Their dreams are not hitting the goal of the monetary bit for the shareholders or for the corporate entity, So once something becomes corporate to me, it's gone, okay? It becomes corporate. Just like corporate America, it's numbers. It has nothing to do with humanity, it has nothing to do with heart, it has nothing to do with people. It has to do with numbers only, okay? And that bleeds right down into hi-fi and how we listen to hi-fi and what we're after from our system. I'm not saying the wham bam bang system is bad. I'm just saying realize what it is so you guys are aware of it and determine if that's what you want. The reason I bring this up is because I get guys with bang bang systems that are not happy and they've spent a lot of money for the bang bang rig and it's not connecting them to the music. And they're like, Mikey, I really want what you are talking about. And they call me up and I switch them out. They get rid of all their stuff. We give them the brands that deliver and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. I've never heard my system sound like this. This is what I was after in the first place. So let's just get that distinction down and understand. Come to me for the connection to the music. Dealers are good for bang bang system. You go to the dealer, man, they will give you a kick-ass bang bang system that will just blow your mind and your wallet and all that stuff. Doesn't matter. I mean, maybe the wallet doesn't matter, but what I'm more concerned with is, are you getting what you're after? Do you want a bang bang, wham bam, thank you ma'am, or do you want a low and slow, chill, like this is just gorgeous and beautiful and sublime and subtle and beautiful, or do you want, oh my God, that's hot, let's do it, So two different types of listening, two different types of customer, two different types of purpose for your system. So I just wanted to hopefully, make that distinction so you guys can see it a little better. Sorry if it was too crude for you guys, but hey, I am just who I am. I try and communicate, and I don't get hung up on semantics. I don't get hung up on formality, okay? I just try and get the message across. So far, I think you guys get it, and I appreciate all the business you guys have given me, and I will continue to serve you guys. So thanks again. See you.